So in this video, we want to understand how to find zeros of a polynomial function or zeros of polynomial function. So if f is a polynomial function, then the values of x for which fx is equal to 0 are called zeros of x, zeros of f. So what is a zero of a polynomial function? The zero of a polynomial function is all the values of x such that fx is equal to 0, right? And how to find these zeros of a polynomial function? So if the equation of the polynomial function can be factored, we can set each factor equal to 0 and then find the zeros of the polynomial function. It is simple to find the zeros. As we do in the quadratic equations, we find the factors and then we put the factors to 0 and then we find the values of x such that the function is 0. Value of the function is 0 for that value. But for example, if f a is equal to 0, that the polynomial function is 0 at x is equal to a, then x minus a is a factor of the polynomial. Okay, so this much we know. Given the equation of a polynomial function, we can use the method of factorization to find the x-intercept, because zeros of a function are nothing but the x-intercept of the polynomial function. So essentially, we want to find the x-intercept. So if we find the zeros of the functions, we also find the x-intercepts. So a polynomial can be factored using these methods. So first of all, we try to find the greatest common factor, that if there is any greatest common factor or a monomial, right, that we can extract, first we try to find that. If it is not the case, or in the second step, we factor by grouping, right? So we basically find the binomials and try to factorize them. Okay, and if there is no binomial, then we find the trinomials and try to factorize them. We will see in the examples. And of course, we can use the technology. There are many online software available to find the x-intercepts of any polynomial function. So what are the steps for factoring? So first of all, we will set fx is equal to 0. Okay, we will set the function to 0. And again, if the function is not in factored form, then we will find the common monomial factors if there is any. Then we will factor the binomials or on the basis of binomials or trinomials. Right. So we will basically group the function in such a way so that we can make factors out of it. Then set each factor equal to 0 and then solve to find the x-intercept. So let us look our first example. To find the x-intercepts of function x to power 6 minus 8x4 plus 16x. So first step is put the function to 0. Right. Then find the first was the find the greatest common factors or the monomial which is common to all. So x square, as you can see, is common to all. So we segregate x square, then we get the x4 minus 8x square plus 16. Now if we set x square is equal to t, we get this t square minus 8t plus 16, and this is equivalent to a quadratic equations. And if we solve this, we get this t minus 4 the whole square, and then we put the value of t as x squared, so we get this. So if we solve this, we can solve this as a quadratic equation, right? And basically at the end we get x square and x to the power 4, x2 minus 4 and x2 minus 4. Okay, so the values we get is x0, 4 and minus 4, and these are the x-intercepts or the zeros of the function. Let us look at this example here. X3 minus 4x2 minus 3x plus 12. The first step is put the function to 0. Then what we will do is take two binomials, right? And we start to factorize them, right? So we write this x3 minus 4x2, we take the common x square and we group this, and we also group this, right? So we can see a pattern here, and now we can factorize them like this, right? And now we can find the value of x is 4 plus cube root 3, oh, square root 3 and minus square root, right? So here we find that when there is no common greatest common factor, basically no monomial, so we group into binomial. Okay, now let us look at the third example. So find the y and x intercept of x minus 1 square and then x plus 3. So it's easy to find the zeros of this. Put this as 0 and we get x intercept as 1 and minus 3. Now finding the y intercept. Now putting x is equal to 0, we get this function, the value of the function as 3, and this is the y intercept, right? So if there is a function f, so whatever is the value of the function at y is equal to 0, let's say c, now c is our y intercept. So that's how we basically find the zeros of any polynomial function.